In focus now, two law enforcement veterans, James Smallwood, National Fraternal Order of Police Treasurer, and Mike Solon, President of Seattle's Police Officers Guild. James, I'll come to you first with your initial reaction to what the White House, the administration, what the feds are doing at this point.
Well, good morning, Harris, and thank you for having me on. I think the Biden administration is looking at the same numbers we all are, and quite frankly, Americans are tired of the violent crime in this nation, and they're tired of being terrorized and victimized across our country. And we cannot continue to do the same things we have done year after year. If we are going to expect a change in course on polling numbers and on violent crime, we have to do something different. The definition of an insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and continue to expect a different result, and that's what we're doing. We have got to change course. We've got to hold these violent criminals accountable. We've got to focus on the policies that are looking at a revolving criminal justice system and make sure that we are doing what we need to do to protect our communities across this country.
You know, when he was running for president, Joe Biden might get a photo op here, a photo up there. I mean, the FOP, are you guys leaning in hard on getting some time with the President of the United States out of this? Because as reporters, I got to tell you, we're hitting a wall.
You know, absolutely, we're doing everything we can to represent not only our members, but the communities that we serve, because seeing violent crime spikes in our communities across the country and all these urban areas, it's a significant concern not only for our safety, but for the people that we're here to work for. And so we're doing everything we can to communicate with the Biden administration. And what we really need to focus in on is the fact that legislators and prosecutors have turned their backs on violent crime, and they are turning a revolving door criminal justice system into a violent community that every single one of us has to sit in every single day and watch our friends and family members be victimized, and it's just not right.
This gets personal for some police officers, though. Portland police with a very scary warning last week because they want to do the job. But here's their reality. The department tweeted this: due to the critical incidents and staffing shortages now, officers are only responding to priority calls, and warning some response times would be delayed. And Salt Lake City, another example of a struggle with emergency response. Residents there back in August faced an average wait of more than 17 minutes and down to 13 minutes in November. 13 minutes is a long time if you're having a heart attack or someone has broken their back in your home or you're being robbed. I mean, that is critical time. And, you know, as we look at those numbers, they all represent people. James, how do we get beyond this
absolutely.
point?
Well, you know, Harris, you have hit the nail on the head. We've got folks who are calling police when seconds matter, and we are taking minutes and sometimes hours to get there, and it's completely unacceptable. And when we're looking at cities like Austin and Portland and Seattle struggling with the defunding movement, where politics has taken over instead of focusing in on what's important, which is the people that they serve, we are looking at numbers of response times increasing, and we are having a shortfall in officers. And as we continue to villainize the law enforcement profession, as we continue to prioritize criminals instead of law-abiding Americans, we're going to see that number to continue to spike. In response times, we're going to see violent crime and homicides in Chicago and New York and Los Angeles spike between 40 and 60% so far this year. It's absolutely unacceptable, and we're not taking the problem seriously. We need to turn the course, we need to reverse course, and we need to focus on holding folks accountable. We need to focus on law enforcement and law and order priorities. And if your legislators aren't holding those priorities at the top of their list, vote them out.
I don't know how the White House and others cannot hear this. And if all they could do would be to give voice to what you're saying, that would at least help. James Smallwood, Mike Solon, so important to have you part of this conversation today. Thank you for being in focus.
Thank you.
Thanks, Harris.